Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Just a short time ago, sounds loud enough to reverberate across the Rockies. They're ready for football in Denver as the Broncos get set to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the third leading rusher among rookies last year, it's Nick Chubb. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
2nd and 3 at the 32-yard line.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Mayfield to throw it. And he slings one that's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. He's got a first down and then some in midfield. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. 34 yards there and a first down.
I can say this from experience, especially from a defensive back's perspective. There's not many things more terrifying than a tall. Sweep or a pitch play and all that beef out in front of the runner.
Yeah, I had an old coach say 3 words on those plays, toss or pitch. Set the edge. Heard him over and over.
A lot of times they roll the edge, and when they do that, that's why you can go for a long way.
So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
It's just me and you.
From the 27, Mayfield. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is When they know that the defense can take the ball away as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them in a sense and gotten the ball from them.
Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line.
On red.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping.
Pretty high. Pretty high.
Now the young man who was a Pro Bowler as an undrafted rookie, it's Phillip Lindsay. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Flacco on the give to Lindsay. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses. And on 3rd and 3, they decided to go with a dime package.
Yeah.
6 DBs.
Yeah, you're right. They've got 6 out there. They'll try and run for it with Lindsay. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. Give him the 3rd down conversion. 5 yards on the play.
Yellow.
That's good for Broncos. First down. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Gun.
Banjo.
On 1st down, Flacco. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Following the interception, Mayfield dancing to his left. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down, and he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Mayfield on 1st down. Throw left side, caught by the tight end, Njoku. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And he is all the way up past the 25.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsey. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Brings up 3rd down.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they'll look to throw. And he finds Hamilton. That's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A great pickup there, 35 yards. And obviously the first down to go along with it.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Jones shouldered down the tackle. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at their 49-yard line.
We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. To pass, Flacco. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Operating off play action, Flacco. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. All right, Charles, as a former defensive back, how disheartening to actually catch it but just not be able to stay in bounds there defensively.
Well, extremely, because you know the rap against us defenders is that we're frustrated offensive guys who can't catch. And he caught it. Just couldn't get his feet down in bounds. It's that second part that finished off the play for him.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started, and it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit, like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him, but whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4.
Don't get nervous. Check. Pistol. He's crazy. He's checking crack.
X3, 218, chopper.
A toss play to Chubb. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Protein spill.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And he's got his man. That's Landry. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
First down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
6-man. Check curls, check curls, check curls. Shift. Watch the shift.
Regular. Shit.
Taxi.
6-6. Pull it high.
Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter.
Check, 47. You.
A 1st down throw from Mayfield. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there, 21 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On 2nd and 11 now. Mayfield rolling to his right. Got some real estate inside the 30. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a 2nd interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
To throw, Mayfield. And it's intercepted at the goal line. It's Chris Harris with a pick. That bulldozes him through multiple tackles. And the return will stop him well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. He was looking for Landry that time.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
2nd and 10 at the 14-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Here we go, D. All day. Defense, all day. All day.
Red. Rush in.
Passing play, Flacco. Airing it out for Hamilton. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Deshaun Hamilton, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Flacco from the gun. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Here's Matt Weil now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to weigh to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. He'll let this go for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. If you're a lover of offense, this has not been the half for you thus far. Luckily for me, though, I'm sitting next to a lover of defense, and we have had plenty of that, including that interception.
Yeah, and I mean, that still makes it a great game, doesn't it? Everybody talks about if the ball's not in the end zone and points going up on the board, it's not as much fun. I love these defensive battles. Something's got to give with these turnovers. Who can convert them into points?
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
I'm going to run you over. Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
80.
Setting up to throw, Flacco. Airing it out for Hamilton. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Demarius Randall. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line.
And that's now the second time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively. And you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
Check, 47. He don't know no better.
Mayfield now after the fumble recovery, eluding the pressure right. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Landry. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now Mayfield. And his pass incomplete. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Hey, alert! Slam! Greystone, travel.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 21 yards there on 3rd down. From the red zone now, Mayfield. Caught left side, it's Beckham. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. 0-0 is our score. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. After a rare scoreless first half, these teams now just looking for something as the second half gets underway. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. An update now from Oakland. The Raiders are out to an early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And we thought this game had the potential to be tight, maybe not this tight, scoreless as we start the 3rd quarter.
And I love the way you use the word tight. I'm going to take it in a little bit different direction here because it's not just tight on the scoreboard. I think both offenses have been tight in how they've played this game. No one's been loose. No one's been free. They've got to find a way to make some plays, and I don't think you do it if you're really tight in everything that you're doing in the game.
Here's Flacco. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Sheldon Richardson gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Another try after the first down sack. Flacco airing it out for Hamilton. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll roll him out right. They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mayfield over the middle to Beckham. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain there of 21 yards.
21 yards. First down, Cleveland.
On first down, they'll run with Hunt. He was brought down there by Will Parks.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Mayfield looks to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Will Parks there in coverage to knock it away.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Mayfield down. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. And he is going to lose yardage here. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. So on 4th down, out comes the Browns kicker, Austin Seibert. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. Seibert's kick is good. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. Well, some good news, partner. We will not have a scoreless tie as we finally get our first points of the contest here in quarter 3.
Yeah, just a field goal, but with the way those defenses ruled in the first half, that could be a big 3-point play right there, couldn't it?
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
At their own 19-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. From the gun, Flacco. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
You're over here. You're over here.
Come. Watch twist.
To try again after the sack. Flacco, and that going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Shift. 58.
Operating out of the gun, Flacco. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Terrence Mitchell. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offense coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field. So play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more. A lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Von Miller in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range.
Hey, 133.
Throwing, Mayfield. It's caught by OBJ. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
A 7-yard gain on the play.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Mayfield to throw it. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Von Miller, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Now look at this, 4th and 12, and they're going to line up to go for it.
We got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
Run.
And that'll set them back 5. The Browns send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away.
Come on, now. Let's go.
At their own 20-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. The tackle made by the linebacker, Joe Schobert.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 50.
Flacco looks to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback.
Let's get off the field.
Give him 3 on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. A nice completion there by Joe Flacco, who's probably going to miss being able to play Cleveland twice a year. Gosh, in his 11 seasons as a starter in Baltimore, he was 17-3 against the Cleveland Browns, and now he'll try to get a victory in a Broncos uniform.
Check 53's Mike. You remember me? Let's go, baby. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up. He's checking. Crash.
Flacco to throw here on 3rd down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Denzel Ward. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. He'll get 3 up to midfield. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Looking for the out route. It's completed to Landry. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Welcome back now to Denver. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Mayfield now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, Mayfield. And he rifles it complete, caught by Landry. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 33-yard line.
Check in. You don't want none, baby. You don't want none. Hey, you don't want to see me. You don't want it.
Hurry.
On 2nd and 12, Mayfield. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Jamar Taylor. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. I tell you what, it's kind of hard to imagine. They have not scored a single point, and yet they're in this position, a touchdown drive here, and they're in the lead.
Normally, when you have 0 on your side of the ledger on the scoreboard, you're a little bit discouraged.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Sheldon Richardson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Monday, that's why. Mike, 53, Mike. I'm coming after you.
After the sack on 1st down, Flacco under pressure again, and down he goes again. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Now after the sack, Flacco and the Broncos come up 3rd and long.
Here we go. Check. 53's mine.
3rd and long for Joe Flacco. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Myles Garrett has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Here's Mayfield. They'll let it go deep for Beckham. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. He's had it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. These guys had a game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. Under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Over there, single receiver. Check the backer, check the backer. At 58 is a mic. Go 58.
Here's Flacco. And this one complete to Jermaine Gresham. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
3 wide.
58 for Mike, 58.
1st and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. He sets to fire deep. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That one good for 37 yards.
First and goal at the 3-yard line.
Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st down in field goal range already. They'll try to run with Lindsey. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Phillip Lindsay, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos have taken the lead. They do tack on the extra point as well, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Mayfield leaves it for Hunt on the draw. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll look to throw. And this is caught. He hits Landry. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 33.
Partner, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little, they're getting closer. Another good pickup.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham in the final minute. And once again, the Browns are back in front. Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead.
Next is for Browns 10, Broncos 7.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it.
Gun.
Setting to throw, Flacco. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for, but now it'll be 3rd down. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you describe that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Absolutely. Oh, well, I thought you were going on the field, but okay, I see you. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
They're going to look to throw on 4th with Flacco. Now a desperation throw. Oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. The Browns drive about to get started. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point, as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. They'll run again with Hunt. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. Third and 11. And some extra depth to the secondary here. They're in the dime. The Browns in victory formation now as they take the knee. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Hey, switch gears. Regular.
Running for it. Here's Chubb. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Browns, they'll finish the first half of the schedule dead even at 4-4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Denver, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.